What's up, everybody? It's Chavio, and I'm here with another marketplace video. This time we're going to talk about accessories, how to price them, how to buy them, and everything in between. Let's jump right in. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to probably pick an accessory that you want to talk about. Now, we'll go into our stuff and we'll say, let's look at accessories only, and let's look at the buy amp booster. There's 570 of these that have been sold. So I know that I have number 10 here because I bought these pretty early on. So now that you're looking at your own number here, you need to kind of think, is this a number that investors are going to want and people who are going to be interested in reselling? Or is this a serial number that's really better for people who want to play the game? In the event that it's a high serial number, that's probably better for players who don't really care much about it, and your cost is going to be, and your value is going to be a little bit less. However, if it's a low serial number like 10 here, you can start to think, okay, somebody may want to purchase this and try to resell it for a greater value. Now that I've identified that the one that I'm trying to sell in particular is one that could be purchased by investors, let's go over and compare it to all the other ones available. So we want to turn off owned by me, and we want to turn on available only. This gives us a list of all the different ones that are for sale. So when you're looking through this list, you start to think of your own. Okay, I have number 10. Well, the prices are all over the place, and it's kind of hard to evaluate how much yours might be worth. So the first thing you want to do is knock out any ridiculous numbers like 4,000, 600. So the way I like to do this is I go up to the best one available for the best price available. So we see number 3 is selling for $120 approximately. So let's go to our filter, our price filter, and set the upper bound to $120. Now you see anything over $120 has immediately disappeared, and those really aren't pertinent to us, and that's kind of what you want to happen now. So the next thing you want to look at is, where does mine fall? You see the number 3 is trying to sell for 120, probably been there for a little while and it's not selling. Eventually we'll be able to tell when these items were put on the market, but we can't do that yet because the marketplace is still in alpha. So without that information, our best guess is to look at the rest that are available and see what else is there, what else is selling, and what do these prices tell us. So I can see that the number 11 one is set for $30 and that's not selling. So we're kind of at a point now where it's certainly not worth 120, and you hope it's worth more than this one of 30 since it's a number 10. But if this one's not selling, you're kind of in a bad way here. The best position here, I would personally say, is to value my number 10 at also $30. So mine's more attractive than the number 11, but it's not priced so high that people will refuse to buy it. Now let's do one more example. So we'll go back to my collection, do accessories. And let's choose one that sells a little bit more highly. So here you got the Boss's First Buck necklace. There were 3,497 of these issued. So there's a ton of them on the market. So again, the first thing you want to do is you want to see which one you have. It says it here, and it also says it in the corner down here. I have number 3,363. That's definitely going to be one that's identified as someone that's for players. This is not going to be one that an investor really wants to get because of such a high serial number. It just doesn't have a great resale potential. So now we're going to go over to turn off owned by me, turn off available only. Now we know that we have number 3,363. So as we look through these, again, we're seeing, okay, so really my number falls somewhere in between these two of 155, but I'm also curious what's the best one selling for. So again, I look at this one, number 20, selling for $200. That seems pretty highly priced. As you come down, this is $1,000. That's no good. And then you see this one, 106 at $100. They're starting to get, sort of better prices here. But I'd say for your upper bound, go ahead and set your price to $100. All the funky ones disappear, and you're kind of getting a better idea of where you are. Now, I hate to say it, but even these here, you're really not in this category with 3,363 for your serial number. So now you start looking at what's a better upper bound for me. I think a better one would be here at 2,298. You see this one for $43. Let's change our upper bound again to $43. Now you see that the only one for that price point or less is here. So I think this is really a good starting point from you, and you kind of need to work backwards off there. So what I like to do now is keep that number in my mind and say, okay, $43, that's a decent price, but let's back off and see what is available for less than $60. So you can see that no one's buying this one at 43. Well, they're certainly not going to buy these two. So you're not going to be able to price it like these, but it does at least give you an example that people are putting them on the market at that high serial number. So you won't be alone with a super high serial number, but you're also not going to be able to sell for any price over this $43. So I think at this rate, I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about it. You know, the next thing you could try to do is evaluate how much you actually paid for it when you got it. This one happened to be a free accessory that came with Boss Dino. So you know you kind of got this one for free. I'd say, you know, a great price for this one would be anything that's probably maybe $38 or less. And basically what I did was I took 43, subtracted $5 and said, hey, somebody will now be able to look at this and say, it's at least $5 cheaper than the other one that's the cheapest. You're now the cheapest one on the market, and you could probably sell it. So if anybody has any other questions about marketplace, accessories, or anything else like that, jump by the stream and ask me live on there at any time, or comment on this video and I'll get back to you when I get a chance. I appreciate you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you next time. Later, everybody.